you're an online fitness coach stuck around $3,000 to $10,000 a month, the reason you haven't broke that consistent 10K, 20K, or even $30,000 a month ceiling, it's not because of your marketing or your content or even your coaching skills. It's something very different. It's actually the beliefs that you're carrying, okay? And if you don't break them, you're actually going to stay stuck there for good. And my name's Charlie Richardson. I've helped fitness coaches from 5 to 10K a month scale all the way up to $99,000 per month. And I also sold on VShred, an 8 to 9 figure a year online fitness business. So I've seen both the everyday fitness coaches, exactly how to scale them up, as well as the big business brands, exactly how it works. And in this video, I'm going to break down the 4 most common beliefs that I see holding back online fitness coaches from breaking past that $10,000 a month ceiling. Let's start with the first belief. And the first belief actually revolves around your identity. And honestly, in my opinion, this is the most important belief to work on and fix. If there's only one belief that you actually change from this whole video, this is the one I recommend you doing. So this belief is truly around the way you see yourself as an online fitness coach, right? And you probably see yourself right now as maybe a $3,000, $5,000, maybe $10,000 a month coach, but you probably don't believe you're actually capable or worthy of getting beyond that, right? And, let's say $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, and you might have hit those months before. You may have been there, but for whatever reason, you always seem to come back. You end up falling back down. You just can't seem to consistently stay up there. And the reason for this is because you don't see yourself as worthy of that. And what that means is you're going to undercharge, you're going to procrastinate, you're going to self-sabotage yourself when you are in that state or working towards that, because deep down you don't actually feel that you're worthy of that. As most people think that they need to have the 10K a month, have the 20K a month, so then they can do the actions and then they can feel grateful and feel like they've made it, right? But the reality is the right way to go about this is actually believe up here that you are capable of 20K a month, 30K a month. You just are that online fitness coach. You are able to help people to that level where you are worthy of making that. So the simplest and easiest way to do this is, first of all, there's 2 main parts. Number 1 is you need to get super clear on what it actually is, what you want, okay? So let's say, let's take $20,000 a month as the goal, for example. What actually is it? And go deep on this and take some time to work this out, that you want $20,000 a month to get for you. For some people, it's just going to be the financial security. Other people, it might be allowing them to get a nicer home, a nicer car. And other people, it might just be wanting to help people around them. Whatever that is, understand the why behind it, right? Like, why do you actually want these things? And who you need to be in order to achieve this. Like, how do they show up? Who do you surround yourself with? What investments do you make? What are the actions this person's taking in order to get this result? Okay. And once you've done that, you want to start visualizing over this. Okay. So seeing all of these things that you see that you want, you start seeing them play out in your mind. Close your eyes, and you don't need to go overboard with this. Like, the way I always look at it, make it so easy you can't fail, even if it's just visualizing 2 minutes a day to start with. Just close your eyes and see it playing out in your head. Exactly the events you want, and that can be a mix of what it actually is you want, seeing the car, seeing the house, as well as seeing yourself taking the actions, doing the outreach, doing the coaching, making the content, and actually seeing yourself do it. And by doing this, you're making it super familiar, right? It's not abnormal. So then when those actions come and there are those action steps you need to take, you are able to easily fall into that identity and able to take the right actions without feeling like you're not worthy or anything like that. So once you've fixed your identity, you are on solid ground, and it's going to make a huge, huge difference for you. But if you're still comparing yourself to other coaches, it will likely pull you straight back down. So the second belief that I see most online fitness coaches struggle with is comparison. They compare themselves to other coaches, thinking that other people are better than them. Maybe they've got better bodies, better results, or they're just better in general. And a lot of the time that's why they end up succeeding, is because they don't worry about comparison, and they know that they dominate in their area, right? Because the biggest thing is, like, when you're in this kind of comparison mode, it tends to knock you off from doing what you need to do. You stop posting as much, you constantly changing strategies, like shiny object syndrome. You keep looking, maybe it doesn't work for 1 week, you don't feel like you're getting the result, so you switch to the next strategy. Maybe you try a new funnel, doesn't work after a week, so you try a new form of content that someone else is doing, and that doesn't work. You try a new niche, you change niches, and you just end up getting completely stuck, right? And especially an important one is, like, you don't want to change your niche very often, because if you found one, you've done your job to find a good market that has got the buying power, they're in desperate need, why would you switch? You've just probably not found the right way to speak to those guys. So reality is, though, you don't need to be the best coach in the world to be an online fitness coach, because obviously there's a lot out there, but the benefit you have is every coach has a specific element, and this links in with your niche that you go after, that you can help the best. For example, Diago, one of my clients, he probably isn't the best online fitness coach in the world, but he'd been through specific experiences that he could find a section of the market that he could help the best, and then they were willing to pay, thousands of dollars in return to be able to get his coaching, because they knew he was the best person to help them specifically, compared to if he just was broadly fitness coaching, he wouldn't have been able to get there, right? And the other element I see here as well, and this can play into your benefit, is you can sometimes comparing yourself to people that have had 5, 10, 20 years in the game. A lot of the time, it's no wonder, if you're especially a bit new, you're not going to be at their level yet, right? So, and the way you can play into this, especially on, when you're doing your sales calls, is, let's say we take V-Shred, for example, a very large fitness company that does generic fitness coaching for pretty much everybody. The way that you differentiate from them, like any client they have, like, it is just a number to them, is what you can play on, right? You can say, you're able to give the very specific attention to these people, especially people that you can help the best, because you do not need to be the best person in the world, the best fitness coach, to be able to help people. You just need to find people that a small section that you can help the best, and that's going to allow you to just get out of this idea of comparison, because you're not comparing yourself to these people. You are the go-to person to help a very specific element of the market. So what I would do is just take a bit of time to write down kind of what your unfair advantages are. What are the elements that you outcompete everybody else, that nobody else can deliver in the same way. And this might be compared to some big companies like V-Shred. You can give them way more attention and can over-deliver, right? Because, you may be working with a smaller amount of people, or potentially there's a specific experience you've been on that you can play into, that was the reason potentially you got into online fitness coaching. And just write down, and again, maybe take a bit of time, because these really are always going to help you whenever you may be feeling stuck in that comparison list. You can see why you're different, and you can understand that comparison is just going to be holding you back, and this is actually going to allow you to stay ahead of that. And obviously being able to beat comparison is important, but what's even more is actually trusting yourself. If you don't believe in yourself to follow through, you're not going to be able to see the results, because you're not going to do the actions. Okay, so let's talk about that next. Okay, so let's move on to the third belief now, and this one is going to be around self-trust. So actually believing in yourself as a fitness coach, right? And this is going to come into multiple areas, and you'll notice a lot of the times these beliefs that I'm moving on to are always going to come back slightly to the identity, as they are kind of sub-beliefs around it. But I felt like it was important to go, directly deep into it. So this one comes into your content as well as your results, because they kind of come in both, right? Because a lot of the time your content is just small snippets that are to help people or help teach people. So I would say the biggest thing that I see as a problem with this as well is it can kind of spiral, like especially as when clients don't get results, especially on more of your paid side of things. it can really knock you down, even if it's not always your fault. So it's really good to distinguish between, you know, having such a good product and like having a minimum requirement of what people need to do, and it nicely links into making an offer with a strong guarantee, in my opinion, because what you can do is just spend some time just over delivering and making. If you were to take some time and think a program up, if somebody did every one of these steps, they would be 100% guaranteed to get the result. And then doing everything you can to making it as easy as possible for them to achieve that. You know, what PDFs, what videos, what tools can you make these people to make it as easy as possible for them to succeed. And then once you've got an offer that you just over deliver with, it's really going to help you break that self-trust, because you just know that if anybody does just follow what you've got, they're going to see the result. And this is going to help you end up charging more for your service as well, because you're going to believe that, you know, you are worth a lot, because everybody that comes in and listens to you are seeing results. And that doubles down that you can make your offer better, because if you know they're going to see results, you can guarantee them. You know, you can say that if you don't lose X amount of pounds, or you don't gain this, or you don't get this result, you can get your money back. And, you know, you can even go a layer deeper and potentially send, you know, I'll even give you $500 back for wasting your time. And it makes your offer so much stronger. It kind of links nicely into this belief. So I would just say the main way to break this belief, again, other than just like the visualization and just seeing yourself as being that best coach and believing in yourself, is going to be just doubling down on results. Just knowing for a fact that everybody that works with you, they can get exceptional results. But even if you do truly believe in yourself, I sometimes find coaches, they get guilty of charging premium, more expensive prices, even when they know that their offer are getting people results. So that's the next belief I want to move on to. Okay, so the fourth and final belief that I want to go over for online fitness coaches is guilt of raising your prices, or like charging more of a premium price, a high ticket price. You know, let's say instead of charging, you know, $20, $30 to $150 a month, more getting to the area, you know, of pushing to $300 a month, $500 a month, or just high ticket packages as a whole, you know, $2,000 for 6 months, or $5,000 for a year, you know, and even going beyond that. Okay. Because the issue with staying low and not raising your prices means that you tend to attract low quality clients, people that are unlikely to follow through, because if somebody's only paying, you know, $40, $50 a month, the odds are there, you know, their emotional commitment isn't very high. So it also comes down to you as the coach that you should be wanting to, you know, take an amount that it stings a little bit, right? Because that's also going to help them emotionally commit to actually making the change, especially when you're working with somebody that's maybe been stuck in their ways for multiple years. You want to do everything you can to ensure they've got 100% certainty and that they can get this result. And they're going to give 100% effort and not fall off halfway through. And the other element as well is it stops you from being able to actually give the best product possible. Because if you've got a lot more money coming in per client, you know, your lifetime value or lifetime gross profit is higher per client. What does that mean? You can make a way better product. You can spend more money and like reinvest in the business and making better things. Maybe you're paying, you know, mentors to teach you how to make your fulfillment better, or just being able to hire some more people, whatever. You're able to actually improve your fulfillment as well and make it worth even more as you go. And it's the easiest lever to increase your profit, because there's no, just raising your price costs you nothing, right? So the biggest problem I think I see where this belief stems from is that you don't tend to believe that your product is worth that amount, right? So the simplest way to fix this, while it might not be the absolute easiest, but it will pay off, is just, again, coming back to over delivering. How can you, what's everything you can do, what's every problem extra you can solve for them to just make your product worth so much more? And I would even try and think of it in like 10x, 100x like discrepancies. So if somebody, you want to ideally sell your product for $5,000, how can you make it worth, you know, think about like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and beyond, you know, what level of value could you push this to, you know, almost guarantee this result and make it just worth so much that you don't even consider, you still feel like you're selling it at a steal, but it's actually, making you a fair amount of money and you're actually getting paid well, which again lets you reinvest. Because the market has unbelievably shifted, especially now in like 2025. Results are the most important thing, in my opinion. Like social proof, more and more and more is becoming the sole driver for people to make a decision, because the online space especially has had so much of a bad reputation now, where there's been a lot of people that have just bought some course and started selling something but not actually got any results or had any idea, that now that is the single most handily biggest leverage thing you can do. It's just doubling down on your results. And if you've got results again and again, you've got a proven system that can get people results, you're not going to feel bad for charging more. So I'd say that is the simplest thing you can do, because I guess that's a great question. Is like, what is your program worth to your clients right now? And then what can you do to increase that number? And, for some of these people, you can tie it to a specific result, right? Sometimes it's people want to be in the best shape for their wedding. Sometimes people want to make sure they're not going to have any health issues with their kids. There's so many huge drivers that are actually priceless in fitness. So that is why guilt, I would say, is the last belief, is because it does have a huge driver. And it allows you to feel not only more confident charging more, but you're actually able to have the margins and the freedom to do more of what you want, but also to reinvest in the business. Make this the best product you possibly can for your clients. Now, if you want to go deeper onto breaking these beliefs and actually build an online fitness coaching business that can go beyond $10,000 per month, then I actually run a free Skool community where you can get a free CRM as well as a free AI appointment setter to help you book more calls, convert more leads. You should be able to just down in the description below or in the comment, there'll be a link to either apply to the waitlist or apply to the Skool group directly. And if this video helped you at all, make sure to subscribe. There's going to be plenty more videos just like this each week to help online fitness coaches continue scaling their business.